Hare Krishna. Welcome all devotees to the Gita Daily program. Today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita 7.5. So, I'd like to thank all devotees who are joining regularly. So, let's get started. So, let's take the blessings of Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra, Maya Sudarshan, Lakshmi Narasimhadaya, Gaurnitai, Panchatattva. We pray that by their blessings we shall understand the transcendental topics of Bhagavad Gita. So, let's recite the prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Namaum Vishnupadaya Krishnapreshthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatire Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Let's dedicate the session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, by whose mercy we are able to understand Bhagavad Gita in a very simple and practical way. Let's thank Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Today we recite 7.5. Let's recite the shloka. Apareyam idastvanyam pragrudhim viddhi me param jivabuddha mahabaho yayedam darede jagat. Apareyam idastvanyam pragrudhim viddhi me param jivabudam mahabaho yayedam darede jagat. Let's see the translation. This translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. Word meaning apara inferior, iyam, this referring to material nature described in the previous verse. Idatto, besides this, anyam, another, prakritim, energy, vidhi, no, me, may, my, param, superior, jiva budam, consisting of the living entities, mahabaho, O mighty armed Arjuna, yaya, by whom, idam, this, dare, re, is being utilized, maintained, jagat, the world universe. So we'll recite the translation again. Besides these, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material nature, material inferior nature. So let's try to remember the context of the discussion. So we are discussing seventh chapter, and in seventh chapter yesterday we saw the fourth sloka, which was describing about the material nature. And the sloka was Bhumi Rabo Nanalo Vayu Kammano Buddhireva Chahankare Diyam Vinna Pradis Ashtata. So yesterday we saw in detail the material nature. Basically we saw that the Lord's energies are three. Primarily there are two energies, which is the material energy and the spiritual energy. So the material energy is the external energy of the Lord, is what actually we discussed more yesterday. We also saw a little bit about the internal energy, which is a superior energy. So what we understood is that the material nature or all the material nature actually is the external energy, or the prakriti is the external energy of the Lord. So that is the inferior energy. And Maya Devi or Durga, she is the superintendent of this material energy. She is controlling the three modes of material nature. Through the modes of material nature, Maya actually keeps the jiva bound, and the jiva becomes under the illusion, and he is bound in the material world actually. So just like the superintendent of the jail doesn't allow the inmates to escape, Maya actually, because by the order of the Lord, the material world is designed in that way that the jiva forgets the Lord, and he tries to enjoy here, and the Maya ensures that the jiva is bewildered. He's thinking that I am the body, right, and these are my possessions, and in that consciousness, the jiva tries to enjoy the material world, and Maya, by her illusional potency, binds the jiva in the material world. So this is what actually the material nature is what actually Jada Jagat, the dead matter, is the material energy of the Lord. Now we also saw briefly about spiritual energy, so we will see a little more in detail about the spiritual energy of the Lord. So the second energy is the spiritual energy is the internal potency of the Lord, which is known as the Yoga Maya potency. All the spiritual worlds are sustained by the internal energy or Yogamaya potency of the Lord. However, we saw the jiva actually originally spiritual in nature is temporarily, becomes the marginal potency of the Lord when it comes in contact with the material nature. So when the jiva comes to the material world, it becomes influenced by the three modes of material nature, which is sattva-guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna, right? And just we discussed. So under this condition stage, the jiva is known as a tadastha shakti. Hmm? Hare Krishna. I think again some issue. I'm not sure what is the problem. No? Sometimes the Zoom is restarting. Okay, so I'll again continue the discussion. Yeah. So what I was saying is that the jiva, the material energy, the material nature is known as Jada Jagat. It is the external energy of the Lord, and the internal energy of the Lord actually is the yogamaya potency by which spiritual world is sustained. So the jiva actually originally is also spiritual, but then when it comes in contact with the material nature, it becomes the marginal potency or the tadastha. Tadastha means that means like a shore. A shore is sometimes under the influence of matter, like or the land, and sometimes it under the influence of water. Right. Similarly the material. Similarly, jiva is sometimes under the influence of the spiritual energy and sometimes under the influence of material energy. So when the jiva is illusioned and conditioned and thinks that is body and comes under the control of the three modes, then actually it is under the influence of the material energy. But when the jiva takes shelter of the Lord, who is the spiritual source of the spiritual energies, the jiva becomes under the shelter of the spiritual energy. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim prakriti ashridam. Right? So the Mahatmas or the pure devotees of the Lord, they are not under the control of Maya. They are under the control of the spiritual energy of the Lord. So this way the jiva sways between the material and spiritual. So the jiva has the free will. It can decide whether it has to surrender to Maya or it has to surrender to Krishna. So when it comes surrendered to Maya or when it becomes illusioned by Maya, it actually becomes entrapped in the cycle of birth and death. And when the jiva decides to surrender to the Lord, right, which is the spiritual energy of the Lord, then Maya no more has control on the jiva, right? So then such liberated souls are under the control of the spiritual energy of the Lord. So that is the essence of the understanding of how the jiva is conditioned. So also Prabhupada explained the material energy is not independent. Right? The material energy where Krishna says Maya Dekshana Prakriti Jiva, Swede Sarajaram. So the material energy is working under the superintendence of ultimate control of the Lord. Right. So that is why when the Jiva surrenders to the Lord frees the Jiva from the illusion of Maya. Right. Similarly, the Jiva is also not independent. So though we are actually the spiritual particles.
ಯಾಕೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೀಚರ್ ಇಲ್ವೇನೋ ಅಂತೀನಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
Yeah. So yeah, so the jiva actually is also not independent, because the jiva is also under the control of the Lord, right? So, so we are not actually independent completely, but though we have the free will, we have the free will to decide whether we should be under Maya's influence or the spiritual influence. But beyond that, the jiva actually is ultimately, so jiva is not fully having the full control, right? So the supreme controller is known as Ishvara. So the Krishna is known as Ishvara, but Jiva is also have minute independence and some minute control. For example, somebody is a manager, he has some control on his subordinate. Similarly, in a husband or the spouse has some control on the other spouse, right? The person has some control on the children. So there is a limited control a person has executing, but the Lord actually is ultimate controller. But the Jiva's control is very limited. He is bound by the karmic influence, right? But then Jiva has the free will to decide, whether he wants to continue to serve Maya or he wants to serve Krishna. So this minute free will is there, and by utilizing the minute free will in a proper way, the Jiva actually can start his journey back to the spiritual world. Okay, so how Krishna? So in Krishna Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Mamayvamsho jivaloge jiva buddha sanadana manashashtan indriyani prakriti karshari." So Krishna says that Mamayvamsho jivaloge. So he's saying that in the jiva loga, this jiva buddha sanadana. So this jiva or the living entity is eternal actually. He actually is existing in the jiva in this particular material world. They are actually my parts. Mamai Vamsha. So I'm saying that they are my part and parcel. So how the acharyas explain this? So we are also part of the Lord, right? But we are separated energies of the Lord. So, like, no, the difference is that we are actually similar in quality to the Lord, because the Lord is Sachidananda, Sat Chitanananda, and we are also Sachidananda. We are of the same quality of the Lord, but we are limited in quantity, or our potencies are limited. So this is known as the Achintya Beda Abeda Tattvam. So we are simultaneously one and different from the Lord. So we are simultaneously one. We are similar in quality, right? So that way we are one with the Lord. But then we are actually very limited. So we are like Anu, and the Lord is Vibhu. So Vibhu means unlimited, and Anu means very limited. So Jiva is Anu, and the Lord is Vibhu. So this way, no, actually we are similar in quality, but quantity wise we are very limited. So some examples, analogies they the acharyas give, like how if you take a sea, and if you take a drop of the sea water, the drop of sea water is salty, and then it has the similar composition as the sea, right? So we are the seawater, the drop of the seawater is similar in quality, but in quantity wise it's very limited. Similarly, another example is sunlight and sun. The sunlight actually has the quality of sun. Like, scientists can analyze the sunlight and find, with the spectrum analysis, they can find the composition of sun. So that way the sunlight has the quality of the sun, but actually it's very limited. The sunlight is very limited potency, but the sun has unlimited potency, right? So one more example is the gold ring and the gold mine. So we can make a gold ring from a gold mine, right? We take the gold from the gold mine and make a gold ring. So this gold ring actually has the same chemical property as the entire gold mine, but I know it is very limited. So this way, the jiva actually is a very small. It's like a spark of a fire, right? If when there's a big fire, there are fire sparks which come out of the fire. So the jivas are like that. We are the sparks, or spiritual sparks. But when it comes, when you are coming with the material nature, the spark is covered by the ash. Similar, how the fire is covered by ash. Our original potency is covered because of the influence of Maya. So, so this way we have to understand that, we are actually this external, the para energy of the Lord, superior energy of the Lord. We are also part of superior energy, but actually we are limited in our quantity or potency when we are in the material nature. But by utilizing our free will, we can actually revive our lost consciousness, and then we can come back to our original position. So some of other shlokas which are relevant, Katha Upanishad 1.2.20 says, Anoraniyam Mahado Mahiyam Atmasya Jandur Nihido Guhayam. What it means, the self, the jiva, right, is smaller than the smallest, Anoraniyam, and Mahado Mahiyam. The jiva is smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest. So this is also the quality of the Lord, right? So basically, by exercising the yogic siddhis, the yogis actually they can become very small, and then they can also become very big. So this is one of the ashtasiddhis. So the jiva has this potency, but then when in the covered state, it doesn't have, right? So basically, here the Upanishad generally talk the points in a very little bit cryptic way. It will not direct like it gives like a riddle. It talks like a paheli or a riddle, right? So here it's saying it is smaller than the smallest and greater than the greatest, and it is hidden in the heart of living beings. So actually, this is giving an indication of the jiva's existence. So we have seen that the jiva is existing in the heart. Ishvara Sarvabhudanam Hridesha Arjuna Tishtari. Then Shvetashvatara Upanishad 16.18 says, Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Ego Bahunam Yo Vidadadi Kaman Tam Atmanam Ye Anupashyanti Dhiras Tesham Shanti Shashwadam Netarasham. So what it means? Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam Ego Bahunam Yo Vidadadi Kaman. The Supreme Lord is the one eternal and supreme conscious being among the countless eternal. So the Nityo Nityanam, so there are eternal unlimited jivas, right? Among them, Ego Bahunam. So one actually is supreme eternal, right? The Lord, Supreme Lord, he is fulfilling the desires of all the unlimited souls, all unlimited jivas. And he alone maintains and fulfills the needs of desires of all living entities. Those who realize him attain lasting peace, while others remain bound in the restlessness and suffering. So basically, it means the shloka is saying that actually there are unlimited number of jivas, which are the separated energies of the Lord, but there is one supreme energy or supreme eternal, supreme Lord, who actually is fulfilling the desires of all the jivas. So basically, the jiva has unlimited desires, right? When the desire is independent of the Lord, separate from the Lord, then the jivas are coming to the material world, where actually there is an environment which is designed that the jiva can try to enjoy here by forgetting the Lord, right? So this way, the Lord actually is fulfilling the desire. and also as situated as Paramatma in the heart of the Jiva, the Lord actually is sanctioning the desire of the Jiva. So this way, so basically, this is how the superior energy, which are Jivas, they are existing in the material world. So one analogy is actually, we can try to understand how the Jiva is situated in the body. So we have seen it earlier in second chapter also. So basically, the body, which is actually made of the Panchabhutas, right? The five elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. Actually, when we take the birth, the Jiva actually, attains this body based on his past karma and desire. So this body is like a machine. You Ishvara Sarvabhudana Mirdesha Arjuna Tishri Brahmayan Sarvabhudani Yandra Rudani Maya. So the Maya, the material nature, is providing a body for the Jiva by which he can fulfill the desire in that particular lifetime. So the Jiva has unlimited karma and desires, right? So there is Sanjita karma, Prarabdha karma, etc. So based on the Sanjita karma is acquired karma, and from the acquired karma, one set of karma is taken for this particular lifetime, which is known as the Prarabdha karma. And for the Prarabdha karma for this lifetime, he needs a particular body to fulfill those desires. Accordingly, the material nature provide one out of 84 lakh species. He gives one particular body to the Jiva, right? And then this body will be suitable for his desire, which he has to fulfill in that life, that Prarabdha karma. So like that. So the body is like a machine, or like you can think like an example of a car, right? A car is a machine, and the Jiva, who is a passenger of the car, he actually is a driver. He sits in the car and he tries to enjoy the ride, right? So similarly, the Jiva acquires a body, and then he becomes, so the body actually is just a machine. We need to understand the body is only a machine given by the Maya for the Jiva, and the soul is the real person who is actually the real traveler of the body or the car. So one more example the scriptures gives is about the chariot. The chariot is also like a car. No? The chariot is actually the body which is given by Maya. The soul is actually the real passenger, and the intelligence, is the driver of the chariot, and mind is the reins. So the rope which is used to control the horses are the senses. The five senses are like five horses. Then the mind actually is the rein, or the rope which is, is to control the horses, and intelligence is controlling, and the soul is the actual traveler. So this way, the Jiva, actually the scriptures gives this example to understand the correlation between the body, the senses, the mind, and the and the real person. So we have seen yesterday, the five senses and the mind is actually the mm or five senses and the three subtle elements, five gross and three subtle, right? So which is actually the body, which is the Jiva as the gross and the subtle body, and the Jiva is the real traveler. Okay, so we'll try to summarize, what actually we learned today. So today last two sessions we were discussing about, the two natures of the two energies of the Lord, which is the inferior energy and the superior energy. Right, inferior energy is known as the external energy of the Lord, which is the Prakriti or the material nature, and the internal energy is known as Antaranga Shakti or the Yogamaya potency of the Lord. The Yogamaya potency of the Lord sustains the spiritual worlds, and also the Jiva, which is eternal, the Atma, which we are, is also the part of the internal energy of the Lord. But then it is known as the Tadasa Shakti because when you are conditioned, actually, it actually has the influence by both external and internal energy. And then because of the Maya's influence, Jiva is forgetting, his original identity and thinking that he is the body, and he wants to, because of his desires, he want to enjoy this temporary material, illusionary material nature, which actually becomes, he cannot enjoy really, because it is like a reflection. We have seen the material nature is like a reflection of the tree bearing fruit in the water, and the attempt to enjoy the fruit in the reflection will not be successful, right? So similarly, the Jiva is searching for his eternal lost happiness, which actually, but only problem is that he's searching in the wrong place. So when the Jiva awakens, to spiritual knowledge by the mercy of a guru and by the guidance of the Paramatma, the Jiva gets a proper guru, and with the guru's help, the Jiva can again, revive his lost consciousness, original conscious position. So this is the summary. So what are the key things we can take away? That we should be clear about, the nature of the body, right, and the soul. The body is temporary like a machine, and the soul is the real person, eternal. So accordingly, we should reshape our activities, our priorities, so that we really spend time for the real person, right, not the temporary body, which anyway will be lost. And also we can remember that many of the happiness which we are craving today, we might have already undergone or enjoyed it in many past lifetimes, right? But only thing we don't remember it. So we should give the futile attempt to find happiness in this temporary illusory world. Rather, actually, we should focus on the real spirit soul, and we can get the happiness which we lost by executing devotional service. Starting with hearing and chanting. So when we start executing the devotional service, simple process of devotional service by hearing, chanting, etc., ABCD we have discussed, we can again start experiencing that spiritual happiness. And when once we attain experience the higher taste, then the lower propensities or lower taste will become distasteful. We will not be no more interested in them. Okay, so with that, I think we will end today's discussion. So anybody wants to leave at this point, they can leave, or if there are any questions, no, they can ask. Hare Krishna, any questions are the devotees? Okay, no question, then we let us end here. So I would like to thank all devotees who are joining regularly. Also encourage your friends or devotees who had been joining and stopped joining, please encourage them also to continue joining. So we'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you all. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.